Pyotr Nikolaevich Rasputin, aka Peter Nicholas Rasputin, or the Juggernaut at one point, Proletarian at one point as well, but everyone always knows him as Colossus. First appearance, Giant Size X-Men, April or May 1975. Same first appearance as Aurora Monroe and Kurt Wagner.
This motherfucker's a descendant of Rasputin.
Yes, actually.
Okay. Before we go down that road, what's the show?
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, what is happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent, big ugly himself, Omari Ellis, feogrande on YouTube, sometimes referred to as Pete on this show myself, and I am here with another episode of the Whatever We Want podcast. And like almost every other episode of the Whatever We Want podcast, I am joined by my co-host, another one of my best friends in the world, the rapper, the man, the lift, the legend, the man who bears watching, Superjaz.
As nature intended. What's going on? Yes, as he said, you can call me Superjaz or SJJT, whatever you want, what have you, and the like. And as he said already, so eloquently, this is the Whatever We Want podcast, where we do just that. We talk about whatever we want. We do not lead this conversation. This conversation leads us, and we let these chips fall where they may.
Every Wednesday. That's right, we got the bag right there. Get that bag, get that green stuff in the bag, the money bags, that paper, get that green stuff. You gotta get the green stuff to buy the green stuff if you're into the green stuff, if you know what I'm saying. But the bottom line is...
What?
Don't worry about it.
So you went on a whole tangent, okay.
Don't worry about it. Money's green too. But yeah, so Whatever We Want podcast. And if you're wondering, I think I only said it the first time I did it, so I'll go ahead and real quick for the people out home. I start these episodes with the names of random X-Men characters and stuff because we started a thing a while back that Superjaz started where he was like, you know what? To start every episode, he started every episode with the movie quote. And he kept going in alphabetical order, starting with H for some reason. We started with H. We went through. And then after that, once he went through the whole alphabet, I went through random song quotes, like song lyrics, a line from a song to catch people, and I went alphabetical order. Then he went through with his next thing, which was wrestling catchphrases. And now I'm doing X-Men characters. But I figured X-Men characters would be too easy, too common. And I mean, movie quotes, that takes some thinking. Wrestling quotes, that takes some thinking. Fucking song lyrics, takes some fucking thinking. X-Men characters' names, you can just think of that off the top of your head. So I'm like, let's go real names. But everybody knows the X-Men characters' real names. So I was like, how do I go one step above? I know. Even if I have to look it up, because sometimes we have to look stuff up, I'll look up the first appearance, and that may be the only thing I look up with these characters. I generally know their real names, though. However, with Colossus, Storm, and Nightcrawler, they all debuted in the same issue, which everyone knows. Giant Size X-Men #1 in 1975. I've seen some places where it said April or May for the month, but 1975, Giant Size X-Men #1. They were part of that same class. But I figured I'd at least explain for people who are new to Whatever We Want, like, why did he just starting off talking about Pyotr Rasputin and botching his middle name? Sorry, I don't speak Russian, okay? Russian go hana say my sin, all right? I don't speak it. And it's probably like, it's probably Roshiango or something like that. I don't know how to say Russian in Japanese, but
that's what I'm saying. You did a different language to say that you speak his language. What the fuck?
Well, Nihongo Hanasemasen or Nihongo ga Hanasemasen either, but you know, it is what it is.
I'm just saying, you were like, I speak
Nihongo. How about that?
I speak English, so I'm gonna say a different language to say I don't speak this language. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? Like, that's why I was laughing. Because it's like, I speak English, but I'm going to speak Japanese to tell you I don't speak Russian. Like, what? The fuck? Like, that's why I was laughing. Because I was like, wait, that's not Russian that you said you don't speak Russian in. Huh? The damn sure wasn't English. Like, what the fuck?
But yes, to answer your earlier question, yes, I believe Colossus and his sister Ilyana are descendants of Rasputin.
Which is fucking crazy.
And his brother Mikhail.
Which is crazy. But interesting. But it's like fucking crazy.
Can you imagine if for M I did Mikhail Rasputin? That would have been obscure. I forget who I did for M.
What is Mikhail Rasputin's X-Men name?
He was a villain, and I wish I could. I don't remember if he had a name. I think he was just fucking Mikhail Rasputin.
Oh, because I'm just trying to figure out like if I would know who this is, and so far no.
He wasn't in a lot of alternate media.
Oh, okay.
He might have made an appearance in the 90s cartoon. He definitely made an appearance in X-Men Legends 2. And he was just called Mikhail.
Fuck that is. Okay.
Yeah. Just
who did you do? Who the fuck did you do? Oh, you did a Toad.
Oh yeah, Mortimer Toynbee.
That's a fucking name right there. I hated Marvel when they come up with names for all of them. First of all, when they were coming up with names for all of them, they gave all of them first and last and some middle names. First off,
yeah.
And whoa, first off, second off, the names are very different but fitting of the person, and they came up with very different, realistic person-sounding names.
Yeah, for the most part.
What's a name that wasn't realistic person-sounding?
Slim Summers.
That's somebody's actual name, not a nickname?
They changed it in Chapter 3 to just straight up say Scott. But for the first two, his name was Slim Summers.
Cyclops' first original name.
They just called him Slim Summers, and then eventually they're like, no, Scott Summers.
Because Scott Summers sounds like actual person name, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why they did it. But they also started giving the X-Men like the personalities they would become known for in like Chapter 3 as well. Because pre-Chapter 3, Hank or Beast was more of a... He talked more like he looked. This is before he was blue and furry. He was just like some muscle-bound, like stocky, muscle-bound dude. Yeah, he was beastly, but he still looked human. He just had big feet and big hands and shit. And he was also talked more like... Sorry. And he also talked more like a kind of like a jock, just like, sup, blah, 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 or a thing wannabe. And I guess Chapter 3, they decided, you know what would be more interesting if this beastly guy was really fucking smart and talked with, $1,000 words and shit.
Yeah.
And so they did that. And they also let's also give Slim a real name. We'll call him Scott. And every once in a while in the comics, somebody will say Slim, kind of like a jab at him, and he's like, haha, very funny.
But that's like my dad, because my dad used to read comics back in the day, and when they were first doing the original X-Men trilogy back in was it 2000 or whatever the fuck, in the early 2000s, and my dad was saying that when they chose Kelsey Grammer to play Beast, he said that at first it seemed like an odd choice, but then he was like, no, actually it makes sense, because you would need someone who could be very convincing, being smart, saying the $1 million words and all that shit. Yeah.
So Frazier made sense. Like that was even how little I knew about X-Men back then in the grand scheme of things. Was like, yeah, that seems like it fits. I say in the grand scheme of things because my whole X-Men knowledge came from like the cartoons. And I barely knew the plots of them. I knew X-Men Evolution, and I'm like, Beast is smart. Kelsey Grammer makes sense. That's why I'm saying. Yeah, I liked X-Men Evolution. I still like X-Men Evolution. It's not really comic accurate. None of the shows are. The closest one is the 90s cartoon, starting with season 2.
Movies ain't either shit.
The movies ain't. But and X-Men Evolution isn't. But what X-Men Evolution lacks in quote-unquote comic accuracy, they have nods to the comics. For instance, usually the original 5 X-Men are never always on the team at the same time in the show. Like, 90s
That
X-Men,
is an interesting trivia.
like 90s X-Men, your cast, Cyclops was there, Jean was there, Iceman wasn't really. So Beast was there though. Iceman and Angel, they made cameos. Like there was an episode where they mention Angel and they do a shout out to when they were younger and be like, yeah, when we first started, it was this group. And they like showed them in their like 60s apparel and stuff to be like, aha, that's part of that whole 90s X-Men is as close as can be, but it's its own thing. Just like they have little shout outs to the comics, like Storm talking about Gambit when they did their version of Days of Future Past involving Bishop, who had nothing to do with actual Days of Future Past, but because it had someone coming from the past to the present to stop an assassination, they're like, let's go, Bishop. Yeah, Blink wasn't in the 90s cartoon, though, I don't think.
No, I'm talking about because the movie being stupid.
Yeah, the movie, its own can of worms. But, and it's not a bad movie. I'm not going to be one of those, it's not 100% to the comics, it's bad. It's a hell of a lot better than Dark Phoenix and Age of Apocalypse, that's for damn sure. But
Age of Apocalypse is better than Dark Phoenix by far.
Probably.
And I'm just talking about.
I only say that because I haven't seen Dark Phoenix. That's the only reason I say probably.
Anyway, I'm gonna let you finish making your point before I go down that road.
But there's a line where Storm mentions that I know Gambit more than any of the rest of you, and I vouch for his character. And if you're watching the show, you're like, that's random. But in the comics, Gambit debuted meeting Storm, and he and Storm hung out stealing shit from people for a while because, for reasons, Storm was turned into a little kid and was stealing from a house that Gambit happened to be stealing from, and he ended up saving her from the villain that attacked her, who I believe was Shadow King, and who's a guy that Professor X once killed in a fucking restaurant. But his mind survived on the astral plane because he's about a Professor X level telepath.
Fucking comics. Anyway.
Oh no, that scene was pretty fucking cold. Professor X just walks into a restaurant, sits at a table in Egypt, sits at a table. Fucking dude walks in. They look at each other. They don't say a single word to each other out loud. They sit down at tables on opposite side of the restaurant. I think Amal Farouk, Shadow King. Amal is like, hey, you ain't from around. I'm paraphrasing like a motherfucker. I'm not like an X-Men expert.
They were having the conversation in their head, in their mind.
Yeah, but he's like, what the fuck you doing in my territory? I'm looking for mutants. You might be one. You want to do some shit? Nah, nigga, fuck you. This is my territory. I'ma fucking kill you. So they have a fight on the astral plane. Professor X wins. Dude drops dead at the table. Professor X gets up and walks out the restaurant.
All mental fight, like the whole fight.
If you're just in the restaurant, you just saw two niggas sit down, one die, and the other walk away. Because this is back when Professor X can still walk. Well, one of the many times. Yeah. One of the many times where he could still walk. But pre his first paralysis, which do you know who paralyzed him the first time? A guy named Lucifer.
Oh, okay.
A guy named Lucifer paralyzed him. I think he dropped rocks on him or some shit. Ironic considering he left his stepbrother to die under some rocks. Good thing that guy never held a grudge.
This motherfucker said, I think, dropped rocks on him and then kept moving like that. Is no shit to say.
Well, they were like out in the mountains or some shit. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Like I say numerous times, I'm not an expert. I know the second time he got paralyzed, Shadow King did it by paralyzing his astral form.
I'm not talking about the whole, how could you not know for certain? I'm talking about fucking comics. The shit in comics is so fucking grandiose and just out of its fucking mind.
I think the third time he got paralyzed was also by the guy that healed him, which turned out to just be Magneto in disguise using nano sentinels. But again, that's its own thing. I think another time he got paralyzed, he got shot. But yeah, whether or not Professor X could walk or not depends on the writer at the time, which is how 90% of comics work, which is why Stan Lee says there's no point in arguing who would win versus who, because the answer is always whoever the writer wants to.
That might be the best, rest in peace to Stan Lee, first off, too, but that might be the best assessment of just that argument in general, like, who could win between Superman and Goku, or who could win between blah, 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 blah. It is like, yeah, it just depends on who is writing the story for that day.
Yeah, who does the writer want to win that day? Or do they want to take the cop-out method and make them tie and be like, haha, shake hands, you're sure something, so am I. Oh, haha. Like,
I remember back in the day, was it Superman and the Flash in a race on
Superman Adventures.
And it was like they're racing. Oh shit, they're racing. Who's gonna win? And then of course some shit goes down, so they have to stop the race, save the day. Hey, we never did finish that race. You're right, and they race off in distance.
They do. You kind of lagged out there. You said they raced off into the distance.
Oh, my bad. Okay, no, I was saying like so. It's like who's gonna win the race? They're racing. And then all of a sudden some shit goes down. They got to save the day. And they're like, oh, we didn't finish that race. They race off into the, and then the show goes off. I still to this day remember like that was cool, but
that said they did heavily imply that Flash is faster than Superman, which makes sense because speed is one of Superman's powers. Speed is literally all that Flash is. He's like the essence of speed. So yeah, he can have the speed competition. If we're talking a fight though, Superman still wins because he's Superman.
Oh, Superman would fucking beat the shit out of him.
Superman still wins because he's Superman. But often in comics, it's like how Rogue in her debut soloed the Avengers.
But that makes sense though because she could take the powers and shit.
Yeah, and she soloed them.
And zap your life force and take your. She's basically like a fucking like human Kirby, cranked up to 10.
And at that point, especially since it was her introduction, she knocked you unconscious when she did touch you.
That's what I'm saying. Not only does she take your power, she takes your life force for a minute.
Which is why for a while she was broken until they re-nerfed her, where she had full control over her powers, where she could touch you and not knock you unconscious.
Right.
So in that case, it was whenever they got into a fight, she's just like, oh, I don't have to worry about knocking my allies unconscious. Tap, 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 tap. Let's go. Which before she would only do something like that if her teammates were knocked unconscious, and then she'd be flying at someone with like fucking blue hair, blue tail, with metal skin and fucking lightning powers and shit, ready to fuck somebody up, as well as her permanent state or semi-permanent, because eventually she lost them. But for 90% of her, or 80 by now, 80% of her existence, fucking her having Miss Marvel's powers, and by that I mean Carol Danvers, not Kamala Khan. But Carol Danvers, the original Miss Marvel, now Captain Marvel, according to the movies and modern day comics. She had those powers at all times because, again, in her debut, she damn near killed Carol Danvers.
And fucking that she's supposed to be one of the most powerful things.
Especially once she became binary. Now, luckily, and I mean binary as in that was her name. Because they have to specify nowadays. But
I know what you mean.
When she became binary and had the power of a white hole, you know what a black hole is? A white hole is kind of like the opposite of that. I don't know the exact definition, but just know it's really fucking powerful.
Black hole absorbs everything, so a white hole.
I don't know the scientific definition, but just know it's about as destructive, but light. I don't fucking know,
Okay.
man. I'm not a
I was like,
scientist. And as I stated numerous times, I'm not an expert on X-Men things. I'm just a guy who knows enough to hold a conversation.
put it like this. Put it like this. No, you are not in the grand scheme of all things X Men. You are the person that I would call for anything X-Men knowledge if I needed it.
Well, yeah, I just feel like saying that because I know the pinky outs are always going to be like, actually, in chapter 215 of X-Men, she was not binary yet. She was still so and so, so and so, so and so. Also, did you realize that Carol was not the original Captain Marvel? There was a guy named Marvel, and no, I don't care. All right, I'm talking about what
That'd
I
be
know.
like it's like every time you call me a rap historian, and I'm like, I'm not a rap historian because in the grand circles of motherfuckers that really know hip hop, I'm not. But in our circle of people and the people you know,
Oh yeah,
I probably know a good amount.
you're one of the people I would go to for rap knowledge.
So that's what I mean. So now you're not an X-Men expert, but you ain't never one for me, goddamn. As much fucking we done a few episodes, and we did one episode in particular where we really went down the rabbit hole of exploring the knowledge of reading how much of the shit you did read. So nah, you know your shit, goddammit. So you gonna wear that hat.
Yeah, just like I
Bitch,
wear
no, I'm
this
joking.
hat. But
Oh shit. Do you remember that did you ever hear them rumors some years ago where they were supposed to be doing a Gambit movie with Channing Tatum?
I don't know if I knew it was Channing Tatum,
I believe it's supposed to be Channing Tatum.
but I remember hearing that they wanted to do a Gambit movie.
I believe it was supposed to be Channing Tatum.
Okay.
What you think about that? If it ever happened.
It's a Gambit movie. It makes sense. He's one of the most popular characters ever. They didn't really do him dirty in X-Men Origins Wolverine, except for the fact that they put him in X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's about the dirtiest they did him.
Wait, no, I did see that movie, but I don't remember.
That's where they done Gambit dirty, considering he's one of the most popular X-Men characters out there.
Surprisingly, yeah,
Also a Chris Claremont introduction. I'm telling you, Chris Claremont gave us so many fucking characters in X-Men. But he was I'd be cool with it. We'll see what happens. I don't know about Channing Tatum. Maybe he can do a cool Cajun accent.
That's the only thing. But I mean, let's say barring
He kind of needs to do a Cajun accent. That's when you write the fucking text in the comics like all kind of weird so it can be the dialect. Same thing with like having Rogue without a southern accent. I don't like that.
Right.
Like this is I do this, I do that, blah blah blah. I'ma punch you in the face, sugar. It's like
sugar, sugar. But no, let's say barring the will he or won't he be able to do the accent? Let's say the accent is perfect. Channing Tatum, I think
give him a
that
shot.
it could work.
I give anybody a shot, man. I'll give anybody a shot until I see what the product is, and then I'll be like, damn.
That's how I feel about it.
Like when they first said Chris Pratt was gonna be Mario, I'm like, I'll give him a shot.
I still don't.
He's better. They had a recent trailer where he sounded better. He still don't sound like Mario, but he at least sounds like he's acting. So that's a step up.
I still don't think he sounds like. I don't think he sounds bad as Mario. I just don't, like you said, I don't think he sounds like Mario.
Yeah, it sounded better in this recent trailer. To be fair,
Jack Black as Bowser.
I love Jack Black as Bowser.
Doing wonders.
I love Jack Black as Bowser. I don't mind.
Monkeys.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to go ahead and apologize to the people at home about our internet connection tonight. It's kind of laggy.
Oh,
you don't mind Jack Black as Bowser, but what?
No, I was saying Jack Black as Bowser. I think Jack Black, what I've seen in the trailer, Jack Black is killing it as Bowser. And I was also saying Keegan Michael Key's Toad is nice too.
Yeah, I like Toad. I like Toad and Bowser. Peaches, whatever.
I haven't heard her. I know Anya
She's
Taylor
in the recent trailer.
I haven't.
Luigi talks in the recent trailer too, and he's
Charlie Day.
Yeah, he's I like his Luigi better than Chris Pratt's Mario, but I don't think either of them sound like the characters. If that
Sound
makes
like,
sense.
and what's so bad is, but I mean, is it really bad to say it? Like I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, but like it's like what's so bad, but I say bad in quotes because it's not really bad. It's just what it is. But I was gonna say you got to do a fucking very stereotypical fucking
It ain't gotta
fucking
be
Italian.
stereotypical. Oh, here's the thing. It's one thing with being stereotypical. It's another thing with just, I don't know, sounding like we've been listening to the character for like the past 20 years.
That's why if you notice, I said bad, but then I stopped myself because I'm like, it's not really bad, is it? Is
No,
it?
because we've been fine with it forever. Also, it's funny that they were like, well, we did Chris Pratt and we directed him not to do the normal Mario voice because, which I'm also giving Chris Pratt slack because apparently it came out that the director wanted him not to sound like normal Mario because they felt like a whole movie of that would get annoying. Which is funny because literally every other language does the high pitched voice Mario.
They felt that it would get annoying.
To hear him
Bitch,
talking
that's what
high
it
pitched
is.
for a whole movie. And I'm like, but it's Mario.
I'm like, that's what it is. So I'm looking at it right now. Chris Pratt is Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy, like I thought, is Peach, Charlie Day is Luigi, Jack Black Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key Toad, Donkey Kong is Seth Rogen. Now, funny thing with Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong is he's halfway cheating because aside from just not talking and going or making noises and shit, if I ever thought Donkey Kong would talk, Seth Rogen's voice kind of fits. So,
I mean,
like,
yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. I'm like I said, I'm willing to give the movie a chance. It's just the shock of that first trailer was the shock of the first trailer.
you weren't the only one. I didn't feel.
Well, yeah, you were
like,
also told beforehand that it's shocking.
I
and
was
that
told before
sets-
I actually
and
saw
that
it.
sets
Yeah.
it up to be something different. Like, obviously, you're
That's a
going to
good
look to not hear that because
That's
you
a
want to
good
give it a fair
Because
shot.
If I had seen it be like without being prepped, I probably would have been like, "What the fuck is this?" Very good point. Very, very, very good point.
But you were watching it looking to see what made people so mad and give it a fair shot. So
As
you're
opposed
already
to-
trying not to be offended by it. And so,
Yeah, no, that like I said, that's a very, very fair point. That's honestly how I feel about movie 43 back in the day. Do you remember when that came out?
nope.
Have you heard of it?
Yes, but no.
How's it yes but no?
I've heard the name Movie 43, but if you were to ask me what that movie's about, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
It's not necessarily about anything. It's like they're connected, but it's a whole bunch of different sketches. It's sketch comedy the whole time. It was so funny.
It's not really about anything. It's about sketch comedy. Whole bunch of sketches.
That's why I was like, damn, is the lag bad? What is happening today? What is happening?
That's the only reason I laughed though. It's like, it's not that bad. It just proceeds to explain plot while the lag cracks up.
My bill is paid. Anyway, no, okay, no. I thought you were laughing because you were like, I don't know what it's about, and I said it's not about me. That's why thought you were laughing. No, I was saying it's not really about anything. There's a through line plot connecting the stories, but it's actually several different sketches. It's sketch comedy. And I am a big believer with a lot of shit, that being one of them. Not that I'm like, ooh, movie 43. I'm a big movie 43 fan. Oh my God, I love it. Because I very much don't. I mean, the movie is like passable. I just don't think that it needed to get shat on as much as everybody did. But what I'm saying is a lot of stuff, like in example, movie 43, a lot of stuff would not be as bad if people didn't tell you what you should or should not like about it first. Kind of like last week when we had Bill on and I was saying that shout out to Bill Smith when we had him on and I was saying that the live action Lion King, everybody was like, well, the lions don't have expressions and that's a bad thing. I don't think a lot of people would have thought that that was a big issue until people told them that was an issue.
I tell you what, I still have an issue with. Be prepared not being in the movie.
Now, no, that's a problem. I told you, "Be Prepared" is my favorite Disney song, so I really had an issue with it. So,
Like if you
but
just like Disney, if all you're doing is making this shit live action, then just make it live action. That is one that if that's the only complaint people have, if that's the only complaint people have, well then you can tell them to shut the fuck up. You knew what you were getting into. We said live action Lion King. But you went, nah, normal Lion King sucks. Let's make it better by cutting out the shit people likes and make it live action. And that's when people get pissed. That's when people get pissed with half the shit people turn into live action adaptations because you think that you're better than the original writers who made this thing that's loved by everybody. And you're like, how do I make it better and put my mark on humanity? I know, I'll fucking ruin it and make it live action.
I don't know if it's fully all of that where they think it's better, or whatever.
No, that's exactly why they do it.
No. No. In some cases, yes, but I would say in a lot of cases, it's a fucking cash grab. They said, "Yo, we made $800 million. No. We made $800 million on it the first time. So if we go ahead and we cheaply package a different way, we might make $400 million."
Yes, and that's why I said, if that's what you're doing with the cash grab, go right ahead. You can give me the damn near exact same script. You can give me the exact same fucking script, all this shit, same songs. You want to recast it so you can be progressive and be like, see, this movie takes place in Africa, so we hired all black actors. Are you happy with us now? Yeah, I get that. You want to recast it and redo the same movie for the quick cash grab? Okay, but don't lie to people and be like, this is your same movie, it's just live action. It's not the same movie. You took out half the shit people like because you thought, creative license, I'm better. Why do you care? Why are you offended by me changing it? It's only fake characters. I just ruined this thing you loved while trying to cash off the fact that you love it. Like, that's what I get upset with.
I mean,
if you're gonna adapt it, but don't act like it's the same thing.
Not to cape for Disney because they don't need me to, and I'm not doing it because I do agree with a lot of what you're saying to an extent. But I just say it's like it's easier to get a accomplished actor like Chiwetel Ejiofor with an amazing voice who probably can't sing, and just say we're gonna put you as Scar and just cut the song.
Nigga, do what you did in the original movie and make somebody else sing.
I was saying, even though Jeremy Irons didn't sing it anyway.
He did. Yeah, he sang 90% of the song.
Oh, well, then there you go.
He sang 90% of the song until he blew out his voice doing the "You Won't Get a Sniff Without Me" or some other reason, but a lot of people believe that's what made him blow out his voice. And then Jim Cummings sang the rest of the song because Jim Cummings is a voice acting god.
He's a fucking chameleon.
And that's not even the only time that he had to copy somebody's voice to sing for them.
Yeah.
Because I think he did it with Christopher Lloyd and Anastasia.
Which I haven't seen that movie. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's a classic.
That's like I said, okay.
I mean, what do you want me to be like? Oh, it's the best thing ever. Oh my God, it's God's gift to animation. No, I'm not gonna do that. You know me, I don't like overselling things.
You don't have to. You don't have to do anything that you didn't feel good about to do. Cool. Love it. I just expected some elaboration, but you don't have to.
It's a good movie. I think it involves the Rasputin family line and shit too somehow. Takes place in Russia. Yeah. In the dark of the night, evil will find her.
That means nothing to me because I have not seen the movie.
That's the song that I was referring to with Jim Cummings, I think, doing the ending of. And I could be wrong about that, but I know Jim Cummings has had to talk or voice for someone else in movies that have, been done because they're like, oh shit, for whatever reason, this person can't finish off this song. Get Jim Cummings. He can mimic their voice perfectly. Or almost, or perfectly enough. Because yes, when you point out that the end of the song is Jim Cummings for Be Prepared, you can tell it's Jim Cummings.
But the thing is, it's one of them things. No, because you're right. If you know,
oh my God,
no, it's too.
What am I right about?
Did it happen again? No, I was saying you're right if you know it and then you like it's pointed out to you and you look for it, then yeah, you can figure it out. But you have to know. So no, you're right. Yeah, no, you could, but you have to, somebody has to tell your ass, hey, you know the two people sing this song. Listen right here. Oh shit, you're not gonna know that shit the first a million times you listen to that shit unless somebody actually fucking tells you. So no, I agree with you. I was actually looking at some behind the scenes, like few behind the scenes clips last night on Moana and Frozen 2. Watching some of that shit. That was pretty cool. Watching them do like Moana and whatever.
Yeah,
And I forgot.
let it snow. Yeah. It's Christmas time in the city.
Let tits. Remember that now?
The what?
You don't remember that? Let tits now? You remember that shit?
I don't know Letits now. No.
So, what's so funny is the two people who they were doing impressions of have passed away in the last few years. Damn, that's sad.
What's funny is that the people passed away in the 2 years. That's sad.
Funny, and like, damn,
no,
that's
I thought it was funny.
Not funny than
oh, really, Zoom? Is the internet connection unstable? Who would have fucking guessed? Thank you.
We're gonna keep going. Okay. No, what I was saying was no. Do you remember back when Will Ferrell used to do the Jeopardy Alex Trebek thing, right?
Okay, yes. Okay, Letits now. Okay.
Chanka. Oh, yeah, you thought I was saying Disney?
No, I just didn't know what Letits now was. But when you said Alex Trebek, or when you said Will Ferrell Jeopardy, I'm like, okay, it's fucking Sean Connery, you know,
Sean Connery thought was fuck with him,
penis mightier and shit like that.
So one of the categories was Let It Snow. And he's like, I would like Letits now. And it was like, that's not. And then it was the way Will Ferrell was like, that's not what it is. Why? No. He would just be so distraught. And then Sean Connery would just fuck with him. Shit was so.
I would have loved if they got. Actually, did they get Trebek to do one of those, like actual Trebek?
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like if they either had actual Trebek do one or actual Connery do one, I think that would have just been hilarious.
They would have had to, right? For as long as they did it, you would assume, and it was wildly, ridiculously popular. Anyway, I was just saying, Pete Davidson. No, I said I think I fucking made a Twitter post about this shit. It's like, I don't know. Dude got, I made a Twitter post a while ago. I said, this man's, his game or whatever the fuck needs to be studied in textbooks anyway.
And that is one ugly motherfucker, but he be dating
and has got some of the most beautiful women in Hollywood.
Money does a lot, man.
Bruh, Kate Beckinsale, first of all, one of the main reasons a lot of people learned his name who didn't know who the fuck he was because he started dating Kate Beckinsale a few years ago. Kate Beckinsale has way more of a name and way more money than this man has. She's been acting way longer and everything. So I'm pretty sure she don't need his money.
And why? She don't have to spend hers. Now, I'm not saying that's the only reason. I'm saying it goes a long way, though.
I'm saying he got a level of game. The man was with Kate Beckinsale. The man was with Kim Kardashian for a second.
He probably does.
Ariana Grande.
And I'm not going to sit here and act like I got better game than Pete Davidson. Anyone that knows me knows my game is non-existent. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I got more game than Pete Davidson. I don't.
I was just saying, like, he whatever he's doing, he got some fucking, like, game or something.
I wouldn't be able to get a Kim Kardashian.
Anyway, all I was saying was Pete Davidson got some level of game because a lot of the women that he's gotten with have had huge status and a lot of like a very, very fucking like beautiful Hollywood women, and it's like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, somebody said, is something. This was like a few years ago. I saw some shit. Somebody was saying that supposedly the man got a big dick. I don't fucking know. Whatever the fuck.
Well, they're probably saying that because he gets a lot of women, and they're making the same assessment. It's like if it ain't his game, it's his dick. That's probably what they're saying.
But I mean, you're not gonna walk up to every fucking woman and just be like, "Hey, look at my dick, let's date."
You don't have to. You just have to fuck one that knows the other ones, and they'll tell them. You got a big dick, they'll tell their friends.
A lot of times.
If you got a small dick, they'll tell them that too. And then congratulations, you ain't getting with nobody that knows that person ever. You better go find somebody else.
Well, I will say this, man. Whatever the size of your motherfucking penis, whatever the fuck you gonna do, you own that shit. So if you do have a small dick, own it. And then a lot of times you may end up getting pussy just off the fact that you got the confidence of having a small dick. And I give.
Yeah, because they're like, well, shit, we already came this far. Fuck it. Literally.
Wait. Yeah, man.
I'm waiting.
Did you not hear that shit? You fucking Zoom delay. And now it won't play at all. So it played.
Was it supposed to be the rim shot?
It played and Zoom delay fucked it up, and now it won't play at all. Hold on. Okay, did you hear that?
No. I'm assuming it was a rim shot.
Yeah, can you turn share sound on or something? What the fuck?
That it? Did that work?
Now I'm gonna share the screen, and this might show up on the episode, and I don't give a fuck, cause this shit needs to fucking come through. I'm slightly pissed. So, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. Okay, fuck it. Fuck it. Back to the episode, goddammit. Just kiss my ass.
More specifically.
Fuck this. Oh my god. If I can't use my sound effects. Wait a minute. Can I use the other sound effects that just okay, wait a minute. The ones that just aren't internet. Okay. I don't give a fuck if Zoom delay fucked that up. I just wanted to make sure I could hear him. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Now, if I gave a shit, I might just give a fuck, but I don't give a shit, so I don't give a fuck.
Why is everything else playing but the rim shot?
This is funny. Not gonna lie.
Wait, no. We gonna keep this in, and y'all need to see this. Hold up. Okay, look.
Did you share sound this time? Did you click share sound this time?
Fuck?
Because I'm not hearing anything.
What?
You didn't click share sound, did you? I don't think you clicked share sound.
What the fuck?
I don't think you clicked share sound because I have not heard it. I barely heard anything from FBI open up. That was like as if Zoom just muted it because it was in the background. FBI open up! Oh, there it is. I heard that one. Jesus, that's loud. Alright, I heard that one.
What the
I like how the capture doesn't really show me, but it shows you with your hands on your head as you desperately try to go through all of these things.
It just doesn't want.
Oh, we heard that. That's loud as fuck.
It's gonna play every other sound effect. Except this one now, apparently, too. This is one I honestly never used.
The bees. You can stop that anytime.
I never used that one because I had it like in my back pocket if I ever decided to, but there was never an opportunity to use it.
Fucking bees.
All right, fuck this shit. Back to the episode. I don't remember what the fuck we were talking about. God damn it. Break the fourth wall. We got
Well, I mean, we
10
talked about a few things. We talked about X-Men because I accidentally... That's just going to happen. People, I'm going to try not to do that on every episode, but it's going to happen a lot because I'm starting the episode with X-Men characters. I'm about to say, this is a show where we just go off on tangents anyway. And with me choosing to start the episode with X-Men characters, it's bound to happen that we go down that tangent on numerous occasions.
The conversation leads us, and we can choose to follow
every Wednesday. Now, that said, there is a topic that we normally talk a lot about, but we haven't talked a lot about this month because we didn't do it this Sunday. Sorry, life happens. But yeah, we didn't do a first Sunday wrestling this month. It will return in January because doing it on any other day than the first Sunday would be weird, considering it's called First Sunday Wrestling. But yeah, that's a thing, and that's why we you're not seeing things or missing anything. We just didn't do one this month, and I apologize. That's on me.
No, it was on me too. I'm very, very much behind on the wrestling shit more than your ass. So yeah. I gotta watch shit 3-4 weeks of wrestling just to get caught up anyway. So.
Yeah.
And I'm usually like somewhat a little bit more in the know out of the two of us to kind of guide that, and I haven't been as in the know with shit. So
well, I know one of the things that's going on with your boy Sammy over in WWE. Your boy Sami Zayn.
What about him?
They had Survivor Series recently, I think it was.
Yeah. War Games.
Did you hear what happened at that?
No. Kevin Owens came back?
Well, he's been back. But you don't mind me telling you.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay, yeah. So the Bloodline won their match, as they are wont to do. And Jey Uso openly hugged Sammy at the end of that match and finally accepted him as one of them.
Oh, yeah, because the whole thing was he was supposed to be honorary Uso, but he was the one that was like, no, he ain't one of us. Yeah.
But yeah, they finally got to the point where Sammy is accepted by everybody except for now, it seems like Solo Sikoa doesn't like him.
So they just added one more person to the bloodline and then just took away the I don't accept you from all the original people and the newest person. They just moved it over. That's all right.
But it's still growing that he's ingratiating himself with this family, which Sammy will make his eventual betrayal all the more powerful.
Sammy is doing, from what I've heard, and I say from what I've heard because I don't watch Raw. But with WWE shit, Raw or SmackDown, Sammy's doing, from what I heard, career work. Like this is where Sami Zayn becomes Sami Zayn that we will remember forever. Type of shit is now. So,
got baggy cheeks.
Well, I have big cheeks. I need to get my fucking haircut. I've been having issues with my fucking car. My car is in the shop. So check this out, right? So my car is in the shop, and then on top of my car being in the shop, right, my card, C-A-R-D, debit card, I had issues with possible fraudulent charges, right?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, what the fuck? Are you okay? What the fuck?
I get distracted by myself sometimes. I'm listening to you, though.
Your card needed to be fixed, but
your debit card has issues.
I was like, you hear what the fuck I'm saying?
First, I was like, I don't think I have dimples, so I tried to smile to see if I do. I don't. But then I was just like, what kind of faces can I make? So I was listening to you, but I was doing that. I heard you. Your car's in the shop. But when your car was in the shop, your debit card, C-A-R-D card, had some issues. So yes.
And then you started doing this shit.
Yeah, I'm listening. I said, uh-huh.
No, that be bothering me. It was this. That's what the fuck. I was like, what the fuck is that? Anyway, that's what made me be like, because all the other shit, I was like, well, that's just Pete being Pete. But then
that's not.
I mean, I guess, but still, what the hell? Anyway, my car is in the shop
Yes.
and I can pick it up, but I've been having issues with my debit card, because I had some possible like fraudulent charges that my company, Bank of America, like they put on my bank. I mean, they put on my statement being like, "Hey, did you make these?" It was only for like $1. It was a few times, it was only for $1, but it got kicked back, being like, "Hey, did you make these?" And I was like, "No, I didn't make these." So then they kicked them back to me. What's up?
No, I'm sorry. I was breathing out,
Oh,
and I didn't want
okay.
to breathe into the
Oh,
microphone, so I kind of put my hand here, barrier.
I know we've been having issues with lag and shit, so I thought you better say something.
No.
No, but my it was like $1 charges that like kept trying to go through but getting kicked back, and trying to go through and getting kicked back, that I didn't make, and I forget where they were, but I did not make them, which means somebody was trying to test my, account to see if they could do my shit, and they couldn't. The bank kicked it to me, said, "Did you do this?" I said no. So since I said I had fraudulent charges and whatnot and it didn't go through, I said, let me go ahead and go to the bank and get this handled. So I go to the bank, I get the shit handled. But because of that, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna order you a new card," which they should. So they ordered me a new card, but I did this Friday. So since I did it Friday, you got to wait about around 5 business days or so. So I won't be getting a new card until Thursday, if not Friday, right? And they don't do physical temporary cards anymore. They do temporary cards that are digital, like on your phone with the tap to pay shit. Problem with that, I've never used tap to pay because I never had a need to. So I don't know if my phone is compatible to do it, or I just don't know how to do it on my phone, right? So the whole thing with that is, now, because it happened on the weekend, and now my Uber payments are not going through, and St. Louis public transportation sucks big fat nuts.
Better than Orlando's, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, no, I'll say public transportation in St. Louis sucks big fat balls. So, and since everything happened on the weekend, and now my Uber, I put Uber on my phone, but Uber worked up until a point, and now every Uber payment is being declined, whether it's on the debit card or, whether it's on my credit card or my debit account. So I do not have a card until it comes Friday or whatever the fuck. I don't have a car until I go get it tomorrow. I had to go to the bank to get it. Thankfully, the bank ain't too far away, but I still walked to that motherfucker, which is about 30, 45 minutes. Walked to that shit, got, enough money to pay for the shit tomorrow in cash, which now I'm carrying around fucking cash of like a whole bunch of money, which is I would rather not do, but whatever. I gotta wake up early tomorrow, catch the bus across town to get my car, then drive to work, and do what I got to do, whatever. And I'm basically just gonna be without a fucking card until I get that motherfucker like Thursday or Friday. So it's just like a whole lot of shit. But hey, comes to being grown.
Yeah.
Because I always say there's a bright side to pretty much everything in life if you look for it. And the bright side to this is that at least I have the money to pay for what I got to pay for.
True. And if you want us to be your bright side every week, every Wednesday, you can catch us right here on the channel. Isn't that right, Jess?
Did you just segue? Okay. Yes, that's right. What? I would fucking do a sound effect to be like celebratory, but apparently Zoom said fuck my sound effects today. So anyway, no, but yes. Anyway, you stream your music. If you would like to look for yours truly, I do make music. I'm a rapper. So you can go ahead and check out the debut solo album that I dropped a little bit over a year ago. My Secret Identity. I go by the name of Superjaz. So look me up anywhere you stream your music. That's spelled Superjaz. Like I said, the album is My Secret Identity. You may have to put in Superjaz, My Secret Identity, since I'm not so famous yet. Also, you can go ahead and look me up on Twitter under the handle Superjaz2. So that would be Superjaz number 2. And of course, you can go ahead and find and follow me on Instagram under the name Forever Super Jazz. And
The word forever spelled correctly, nigga.
oh, I forgot. Yeah, the word forever is
I don't know why I threw it in the N word.
And if for some strange reason whoever's watching this happens to live in the Lewis area, be on the lookout next summer. I'll be producing a show. I don't know if I want to put that out there.
Oh,
So
shit.
this may be the first time I say that, but I don't know if I'll actually end up putting that out for real, for real. So we'll see. But anyway, go ahead. Where can they find you, Mr. Brightside? Shout out to My Chemical Romance. Or the Killers. The Killers. Shout out to the Killers. Shout out to the Killers. There you go.
It's the Killers.
I didn't listen to either one of those bands, so my bad.
Anyhow.
I didn't hate them, I just didn't listen.
Well, obviously, y'all know y'all can find me here every week, every Wednesday on the Whatever We Want podcast. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube under feogrande. That is Feo Grande. I got channels over there, including an episode this week. It aired yesterday with your boy Superjaz, where he guest starred in there. But we removed where we reviewed the movie Wait Until Dark, starring Audrey Hepburn and Mr. Rote. As well, yeah, that guy. Also. But I mainly do that show with my good friend Bill Smith, El Director himself. I also have a Twitter and a Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in. Stop on by. And yeah, that's what I got to say. Nice and simple. Mainly play fighting games on that channel.
And all I got to say is, what are we going to talk about next time?
Whatever we want.
Be nice to yourself, everybody.
Adiosness.